back in school, and I know it won't be school back like we usually have it in buildings, but we will begin non-traditional instruction, teachers teaching and students learning 2 weeks from today. And so we are excited to get ready for that. Even though it's not that same excitement that we have at this time of year. Last week I said this is always the most exciting time of the year, the new start to the year. Everybody really enthusiastic about getting back in school, teachers working together, a lot of events taking place, back to school events that will have to be virtual this year. So it's going to be different in many ways, but we still feel that excitement as our teachers are now back to work. So all of our teachers started yesterday, virtually mostly, but they are back to work and preparing. So this year is a change to our calendar, is giving our teachers and staff 2 weeks of professional development to train and be ready for the first day of students. So a lot of digital training, technology training, school-based training, lots of new type of web-based supports for kids, lots of reaching out to kids and families over the next couple weeks as well. So we're really pleased to have everybody back and get working, and look forward to the 25th when we have everyone back and our kids learning. One of the things that I think has been a positive, if there has been any positive from the COVID-19 crisis and being in NTI, is the amount of people who have stood up and said, how can we help JCPS and JCPS students be successful in non-traditional instruction? And if we go all the way back to March, that's when that started. I remember at the very beginning, so many people reaching out and saying, how can I help? And so we have just been very pleased with the community partnerships that we have developed, the business partnerships, everyone just reaching out and saying we want to help JCPS students and we want to give them the best possible learning experience we can. And we are joined by several of those today that I'm excited to introduce and thank for their commitments to helping our students and working to make a better learning experience for all kids. And I think what this definitely shows, investing in our students, investing in our school system, investing in the next generation is a community-wide issue. Yes, it is JCPS and the schools and the teachers and the administrators in central office who we do most of the heavy lifting when it comes to working at school or with our kids every single day. But the successful communities, the cities that provide the best learning experiences, are those that everyone puts their arms around all the kids. Nonprofits, community partnerships, business partners, foundations, and many others work together to support the kids of that school system. And for us, it's JCPS and the 98,000 students that are here. And so today we're going to celebrate the fact that more than $140,000 has now been donated to help us purchase laptops, Chromebooks to support kids. And to date, we have purchased 450 Chromebooks to support student learning through community support. That's outside of the ones that we have purchased in JCPS. So, I mean, that's a substantial number, over $140,000, and that continues to grow, and you will see from our donations today of the commitment that our business partners have in helping us make sure that every child has access. And I want to say this again. When we are in remote learning, there is nothing that is more important than every child having access to a computer, a laptop, or a device, and also having that internet access. I'll be updating you as we finish up after this part of the press conference of the update of the numbers of students who have requested Chromebooks and hotspots. And I want to say once again how important this is. We say this all the time. Chromebooks and hotspots. Chromebooks is the device. So whatever device a family has, a laptop, a computer, whatever it may be, but having access to that laptop and then having access to high-speed internet is critical in learning no matter what. Once we finish with NTI and go back to regular instruction, this is going to be one of the positive that comes out of it. We are bridging that digital divide with the help of the community. But definitely during the time of COVID-19 and NTI, we have to make sure that every single child has that access. And these business partners, these community partners have stepped up to help us. So I would like to introduce them and bring them up and let one by one them tell you a little bit about their donation to the students of JCPS. So first of all, Dr. Wasim Sajid of the Association of Physicians of Pakistani Descent in Kentucky and Indiana came to us many months ago and said he wanted to step up and help. This was prior to COVID-19, and said that his organization just wanted to help JCPS students in any way possible. We can't thank him enough. So I'd like to bring up Dr. Sajid to give his presentation to the students of JCPS.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you, Dr. Polio, for an introduction. As he said, I'm Dr. Sajid. I am here on behalf of Association of Physicians of Pakistani Descent in Kentucky and Indiana. We are an organization of about 100 physicians. Most of us live in Kentucky and some in southern Indiana. One of our objectives is to foster and support education and science in local communities. As you know, we are living through very unprecedented times. AAPKI believes that we should help each other and support each other during this pandemic. We are very proud to support JCPS in their efforts to educate our children. We are proud to present a donation of $10,000 to JCPS towards the purchase of Chromebooks, or however they will like to spend. And it is our honor, as I said, to be a partner, community partner with JCPS, and we look forward to having a longer-term partnership with them in their future educational endeavors as well. And as I said, it is my honor and pleasure to present this $10,000 check to Dr. Polio. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you once again to the Association of Physicians of Pakistani Descent in Kentucky and Indiana. I believe this is the start of a very long and positive relationship to support kids in JCPS. Next up, a partner of ours that we have worked closely with for a long time, I'd like to bring up Jill Bell from Passport. Jill.
Thank you, Dr. Polio. It really is an honor to be here today. Thank you so much for your leadership during these unprecedented times. Passport Health Plan has been a part of the fabric of this community for over 23 years now. We're the Medicaid health plan for 320,000 Kentuckians, 140,000 are right here in Jefferson County, and 64,000 of them are Jefferson County kids. Our members are JCPS students, and we wanted to help them succeed. So we called back in March to offer assistance, and at the time we were thinking we would be offering help for funding for food distribution or other services. But it was clear that at that point that the real need was for Chromebooks. To succeed in distance learning, every child needs access to the right tools, and we are pleased to help. I'll end with a quote from one of my favorite educators, Mr. Rogers. He said when he was little and he would see something on the news that frightened him, his mother would tell him to look for the helpers. There are always helpers. So thank you to all the helpers out there, especially our teachers. We can all step up and help our kids. I assure you, Passport will continue to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill, and thank you to Passport for their continued support. Now we'd like to bring up from HUG, which has been an organization that has provided a lot of support to JCPS elementary students in a reading mentoring program, Help Us Grow, over the past several years. And it continues to grow every year on its impact on students. So Brenda Huvalt, please come up, and excited to have you here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Polio. It's a pleasure to be here today. I am here representing the Help Us Grow Foundation. We have been in multiple JCPS schools. We tutor second and third grade students who are reading below grade level. We're trying to boost them up, get them to grade level. With this reading program we have, it's a one-on-one program. Right now, with the COVID-19, we have gone to a virtual program. So now that we have, with the Chromebooks coming to JCPS, we can also do it online. We can also do in school. So when we're back in school, we will do the one-on-one program then. But for now, we're going to do it virtually, and we can't wait to get back and working with the students again. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. And HUG, Help Us Grow, as I've been able to speak to the mentors and the volunteers every year for those that come to read and support kids in reading. And it's always an inspirational day for me to see the amount of volunteers who are willing to step up and be in our elementary schools. And I'm sure when we get back in person, they'd love to have more volunteers who would be HUG mentors. And finally, I will bring up from Rallies, a great partner of ours, Abigail Eberly from Rallies to talk to us. Abigail.
Thank you, Dr. Polio, and appreciate the invitation to be here today. My name is Abigail Eberly, and I'm the Marketing Director for Rallies. I'm excited to be here on behalf of Rallies today, and we are very grateful that our particular business was actually able to stay open and serve in our communities during these times. And we know that there are many challenges that our educators and students are dealing with in our communities currently. We learned that the Chromebooks were a high priority for the school district, and on behalf of our team at Rallies, to be able to give back to the students in our very own communities that we serve each and every day truly meant a lot to us. At Rallies, we believe that the strength in our community and that we will get through these difficult times by working together and supporting each other in our efforts. On behalf of Rallies, we would like to thank Dr. Polio, all the administrators and teachers for your continued efforts to help the kids and their families in our communities that we serve each and every day in our own restaurants. Thank you so much.
Thank you to Abigail and to Rallies for their support. We appreciate all of you for your great support and want to recognize you once again for the difference that you're making in kids in JCPS. Thank you. A few other thanks we want to give out. First of all, this morning, we did receive a grant actually this morning that got added to my notes at the last minute, but I do want to thank the Intel Corporation, CDW, and the Lego Foundation for 350 Chromebooks and internet connections for our Newcomer Academy, which is an awesome school. If you've ever had opportunity to experience Newcomer Academy, it's an incredible experience. And to provide Lego educational materials for 6th and 8th graders. So thank you to those corporations. And to further support hands-on learning during NTI, JCPS is launching NTI 2.0 Career Pathways Skills Kits project for students through community support. And so this project is developed in order to ensure that we are able to continue on with career and technical education, which can be more difficult when we're talking about distance learning, career and technical education. And so through these donations, students will be able to have hands-on materials like mannequins for health sciences so that they continue on with that work towards in our academies of Louisville and work towards a certification, or like maker space kits for engineering so that we can get those to kids. So we appreciate those donations, and anyone interested in making a donation to support these experiences can go to our website. There's a link on our website to support that. Finally, we also want to thank Commonwealth Bank and Trust along with WLKY for coordinating a virtual supply drive for our students. So all of these go a very long way to making sure our students are prepared to get back to school. So this is just a little snapshot of all the community organizations and folks that are willing to reach out and help our kids. And we know even though it's going to be a different year than it's ever been before, we are excited, we are energetic, and we are going to have great experiences for our kids with the support of our community. So thank you again. I would like to provide some of the updates after a couple of days of preparing for NTI 2.0 where we've had teachers back. And you know we started yesterday taking the orders for Chromebooks and hotspots. So I did want to provide some updates on that. So first of all, families, and many families have requested, now is the time that you can request a Chromebook, which is a device, a laptop, a device, and a hotspot, which is for high-speed internet access for Wi-Fi. If you need assistance during NTI 2.0, now is the time to do that. Yesterday was the first day that families could do that. We started that at about 9 a.m., started taking those orders from families. And so it's been a little less than 30 hours, and at this point we have taken over 15,000 requests for Chromebooks that we will be able to meet. So we've had about 15,000, a little over 15,000 students, and probably growing since the time we began this press conference. So families are accessing this and doing it the right way. We appreciate you doing that early on. We've also now had orders for over 2,000 hotspots, and I'm sure that has grown since we've been standing here. So clearly families are seeing how important this is. I want to reiterate, we gave out over 20,000 Chromebooks in the spring and over 1,000 hotspots. So at this point, with those families keeping those, we're over 20,000 that we'll be giving out, and now about 3,000 hotspots. Once again, families, now is the time. If you go to our website, that is where you can complete the form online to make sure that you can reserve that Chromebook or hotspot. You can also use a cell phone to do that. And if you don't have internet or access, or you are struggling through the form, you can always call 313-HELP, 313-HELP. But it is better if you're able to access that online in any way. But either way, we will make sure that you get the device, and we've had plenty order anyway. All families, any help you need, 313-HELP. Secondly, we're also happy to announce that all of our forms are now online. So all of those student forms and family forms that parents fill out at the beginning of every school year, and usually we hand them out in person, take them home, parents complete them and send them back the next day to school. All of these forms are now online. So we are asking all of our families, please go access these forms. You can get them digitally on our website. All you need to do is go to the Back to School and What Families Need to Know section of our website, and there will be links to all the forms that families need to fill out. So please do that. The earlier we get those back, the better it will be. You also, families, should all be hearing from your school. If you haven't already, you will be this week. You will either, most likely through email, you will receive a letter from your child's school. So please make sure to be looking for that. But many schools right now are scheduling their virtual orientations and drive-through events to pick up materials and supplies. If you need to call your school and ask questions, they should be there to answer the phone. Families, we would also encourage you have an opportunity to learn more about NTI 2.0 tomorrow night, 6 p.m. There's a Facebook family Q&A on our JCPS Family Engagement Facebook page. So we'd ask you to log into that. A lot of great information during that Q&A on Facebook. It will be on our website, a link to that, so make sure you check that out. It's a great way to connect with other families and parents and get questions answered, get a lot of other information. I'd really encourage parents to do that. Also, once again, we purchased a new phone system which allows us to provide better customer service for families. So when we have school personnel are working remotely, in the spring we were not able to answer the school phone. Now we have a service that allows us to always answer that school phone when someone calls the school, and an employee of the school can answer that phone and direct a parent or question to the right person and get those questions answered right away, and we do that remotely and safely. So parents, if you have questions or concerns with your school, call your school and make sure that you get that information. Families new to JCPS, or if you have a student entering kindergarten, you can register your student online. You can do that online. You don't need to come to the building. And that information is also available on our district webpage. And once again, I can't say this enough, how important it is that families update their contact information. I said it several times last week when we had this, but at any time in school, we need up-to-date contact information. But especially when teachers in schools are trying to reach out to make connections with families so we can provide that learning, it is critical that we have up-to-date information anytime that changes, that the school gets that information so that we can contact families, teachers can contact families, and we can have great success with virtual learning. So once again, thank you to all who have been here today. We've done a lot of work over the past couple of days to get ready. We still have a long way to go. Once again, last thought, parents, families, you need Chromebooks, you need internet access with a hotspot. Make sure to go online and get that reserved as quickly as possible so we can get those to schools and get those out to you as quickly as possible. And always, any assistance you need, you can call your school or 313-HELP. So we have 2 weeks from today. We'll be starting. We've got a lot of work to do. We're excited about the energy. I can't wait to get our kids back to learning. Happy to take any questions anyone has at this time. So the question was the demand for Chromebooks and probably hotspots in the spring compared to now. Yeah, I think we are seeing much greater urgency from parents and families to get that early on. So we gave out 20,000 in the spring, and if you recall, it was over about a 2 to 3 week period from when we ended school and started back after spring break. And it was a lot at the beginning. But I think families now know how important that is, much more so since we've been through it one time before. So like I said, we've gotten 15,000 in about 30 hours. We got 20,000 over about 2.5, 3 weeks in the spring. And I think the interest in hotspots is also much greater as well. Now, I will say on top of that, we are ensuring that every child has a Chromebook. So in the spring, we only did every family got one Chromebook, and that made it difficult. There is no doubt. We didn't know, we didn't have the CARES money at the time, and we were not sure how many we were going to give out. We went into schools and got those Chromebooks, but it definitely makes it challenging for a family who has multiple children working on one device. So I think we've had at this point somewhere around a little over 9,000 families request over 12,000 Chromebooks. We can get those exact numbers to you. But it just shows we're giving out multiple Chromebooks to families as well. Yeah, well, in the end, we're going to spend at this point more money on devices, internet access, software platforms, and eventually PPE, cleaning supplies, than the CARES Act provided. So there was a lot of discussion that this was this windfall for school districts across the nation, and large or small districts will end up spending more money than they've been given to this point. Whenever we go back to school, whenever that is, whether that's the first week in October or later, I mean, I think PPE is here to stay with us for a while. I don't see us going back to a scenario where we're not wearing masks and providing those for students. So we were budgeting about $12 million for PPE going back to school. That will drop some because we will not be having to give out face masks nearly as much for students coming into school buildings as we knew we felt we could give anywhere between 50 to 100,000 face masks a day whenever we go back to school. So at this point, there is no doubt, Chromebooks has been the biggest expense we've purchased with it, hotspots, software platforms to support kids, but there is going to be significant PPE purchase that will go above the money that we were given in CARES funding.